So let's look at some of the sentences from chapter 23. Number 1, aliquid numquam ante auditum in hoc republica cerno. You got to go all the way to the end of the sentence for the verb. Cerno, I discern, and now let's just follow the same order. Something never before heard in this republic. I know, that's a simplistic way to do it. Let me analyze this. Auditum, accusative, singular, neuter of the indefinite pronoun aliquis, aliquid. Numquam is just your adverb that means never. Ante is also an adverb that means never. Auditum, this is the key. Accusative, singular, neuter of the perfect, passive participle, and it modifies aliquid. And in this republic is just your prepositional phrase. I discern, or I see, I recognize something never before heard in this republic. Number 2, illum oratorum in medio senatu iterum petentem finem bellorum ac scelerum non adjuvistis. Again, at the end, we go to the verb, adjuvistis, second person singular, isti, plural. I flip-flopped the first two. Second plural, present, perfect, active, indicative. You have not heard. The accusative, oratorum, accusative, singular, masculine. Illum modifies it. What else modifies petentum, oratorum? Petentem. This petentem is accusative, singular, masculine, present, active, participle. That orator in the middle of the Senate in medio senatu, iterum, again, seeking an end. Notice this is accusative. That's the direct object of the participle. I think this sentence is a great example of the use of the participle. It's the adjective because it modifies oratorum, and it is the verb component of it. It takes the direct object finem. Seeking an end of wars, genitive, plural, masculine, neuter, and crimes, also genitive, plural, neuter. You have not heard. So, you have not heard that speaker in the middle of the Senate again seeking an end of wars and crimes. Number 3. Certi fructus pacis ab terito vulgo atque senatu cupiebantur. There you go. In this case, the subject is at the beginning. We don't know. You gotta work it both ways. Certi fructus. Is it nominative? Is it genitive singular? Hard to say, actually, isn't it? With this fourth declension adjective, we don't know what it is exactly. In other words, let me back up. Certi fructus arguably could be the genitive singular masculine. The odds are not. Why? Because rarely did the Romans put the genitive at the first word in the sentence. That's all there is to it. Rarely did the Romans put the genitive as the first word in the sentence. So, if we operate under the assumption that this is the noun, the subject, fruits were desired. Certain fruits of peace were desired. I think you recognize this, third person plural, imperfect, passive, indicative. They were desired. What were desired? The fruits of peace. Pacis, genitive, singular feminine. Ab terito vulgo ac senatu. Terito goes with both vulgo and senatu, from the frightened crowd and senate. Certain fruits of peace were desired by the frightened crowd and senate. Number 4. Qui vir magnanus alias gentes gravimetus servitutis liberabit. So, this is a sentence. Subject, vir, verb, liberabit. Qui modifies vir, magnanimous modifies vir. This is your nominative, singular masculine. A man will free, third person singular, future, active indicative, will liberate. A man will free. What magnanimous man will free the gentes, accusative plural feminine. The other nations, the other clans, from the, this is your ablative of separation, from the fear, ablative, singular, metu, I'm going to say it's masculine, don't hold me to that. If it's neuter, we'll deal with that. From the serious fear of slavery. What magnanimous man will free the other nations, the other peoples, from the serious fear of slavery? Number 5. Nemo fidem negligens timore umquam carebit. Nemo, Latin word for fish, is it not? No. Nemo carebit. No one will be without. Careo means to be without. Third person, singular, future, active, indicative. No one will be without. What? Let's. We've got 4 words here. Let's deal with the parts that are dependent on the verb. First, will ever, umquam, this is just your adverb, ever. You ever notice that umquam equals ever and numquam equals never? And it's curious, that's the exact same thing in English as in Latin. You add an N to that word to make the not. Umquam, numquam, ever, never. Just a little side note. Keep you on your toes. Timore, ablative, singular, masculine, will be without fear, your ablative of separation. Let's deal with the negligens fidem. Notice the nemo is nominative singular masculine. Negligens is nominative singular masculine. It is the present active participle. And how do we translate the present active participle? With ing, neglecting. Nobody neglecting, and this is the direct object of the participle. Accusative, singular feminine. Nobody neglecting faith will ever be without fear. And again, this is a great example, as in the one above, of the present active part, or the participle in general, doing 2 things. Number 1, it is an adjective. It is doing a noun thing, modifying the subject, and it is a verb thing in that it is governing the direct object. Nobody neglecting fear will ever be without, will ever lack. Nobody neglecting faith will ever lack fear. I'll edit the mishmash out. Number 6. Illa femina fortunata, haec concilia contra eos malos quondam aluit, et salutis communis causa semper laborabat. That's a lot. Let's break this up. We've got a big et right there that breaks it up. We can deal with this in 2 separate components. Let's deal with the subject, the femina, nominative, singular, feminine. What'd she do? She aluited, there's your verb, and she laborabated. There you go. That's the structure of your sentence. Don't change it. That woman, illa femina fortunata, that fortunate woman, what did she do? She nourished what? Concilia, accusative, plural, neuter. These, move this over here. These plans contra eos malos, those bad men, malos. It's your accusative, plural, masculine. The substantive use of the adjective. That fortunate woman nourished these plans, fostered might be a good one, fostered these plans against those bad men once upon a time, quondam. And what else did she do? She always worked, third person singular, imperfect, active, indicative. Causa communis. Causa is a great word. I underlined that. I shouldn't have. It's not the subject. Causa just means for the sake of. And it's just great, for the sake of common good. Causa means because of, for the sake of. That fortunate woman fostered these plans against those bad men once upon a time, and she always worked for the sake of the common good. Number 7. Running out of room there. There we go. Illam gentam latinam oppressori et duitias rapturi omnes viros magnae probitatis premere ac delere protinus coiperunt. It's a lot there too. Illam gentam latinam. This is the direct object, accusative, singular, feminine, and illam modifies it, latinam modifies it. Oppressori, nominative, plural, masculine. It's your future active participle. About to oppress, and rapturi, the same thing, nominative, plural, masculine. About to oppress the Latin nation, that Latin nation, and about to steal the riches. What did they do? They began to do this. Premere, the complementary infinitive, and complementary infinitive here. So you've got it began with two complementary infinitives. You've got two future active participles. A lot going on here. So again, break it up. That Latin, about to oppress that Latin race and about to take the riches. They began to press, premere, omnes viros, the men, all men, accusative singular, accusative plural masculine, all men of great, genitive singular feminine. This modifies the probitatis, genitive singular feminine. They began to press all men of great uprightness, good standing. And to what? To delete them. Delere, to delete them, protinus, straight away. I personally tend to think of delete. I use delete just as a convenient way to get over the hump of what we're going to use that word. We get delete from it, obviously, but it means to destroy. So the about to oppress the Latin race and the about to take the riches all began to press all men of great upstanding and to destroy them straight away.